there's actually no obligation for a seller to set a reserve price. Obviously, they do because they don't want to sell it for zero or $1 if that's the highest bidder, because you are obligated to sell it to the highest bidder on the day if you don't have a reserve price. If you've got a reserve price and the property doesn't reach the reserve price, obviously you're not obligated to sell the property if it's under the reserve. The agent and the auctioneer will have a discussion with the seller of the property about the reserve, and they will set the reserve before the auction and give that to the auctioneer. Now, during the auction, if you're watching auctions and you're preparing to bid on a property, you'll see often buyers will ask the auctioneer during the auction whether or not the property is on the market. And what they mean by that is, has the reserve price been met? In Queensland, again, different in other states, but in Queensland, the auctioneer has no obligation to tell you if the reserve price has been met or if the property is then on the market. Now, there's a little tip to this, and that is in a vendor bid. If the auctioneer has accepted or received a bid on behalf of the vendor, that means that the reserve has not been met, because an auctioneer cannot put in a vendor bid after the reserve price has been met for a property. So if there's a vendor bid, you'll know that there is a reserve and the reserve hasn't been met. A auctioneer will always announce a vendor bid very clearly for the strict rules around that. There's also no limit to how many vendor bids an auctioneer can put in during an auction. So that's all to do with the auctioneer's strategy, but just remembering that he can't put in any vendor bids after the reserve price has been met.